All right, to our top story tonight, the arrest of two children, a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old, for the shooting death of a toddler last Friday. Joining me now to talk about this and the process moving forward is the former district attorney for Erie County, John Flynn. John, thanks for being here. Yep. First thing I asked you to do was take a look back at your almost 2 terms in office and how many times you had to prosecute children. In this case, you told me there were 3 teens that you prosecuted. What were those cases briefly?
Well, 3 under the age of 16.
Under the age of 16.
So, because again, once the raise the age law came in, 16 and 17-year-olds are still can be considered in adult court. So I had 3 15-year-olds, 2 for murder, 1 for rape.
So very serious charges. It doesn't get more serious than those, obviously. Take me inside that process. What is it like to prosecute a child versus prosecuting an adult? Or is the crime and it doesn't matter who commits it?
Well, I mean, the crime's a crime for sure, but we're all human beings. Sure. Obviously, like the mayor said tonight, you got children killing children, and when you have a child in front of you as a defendant, you got to recognize that that's still a child. Now, obviously, that doesn't change the punishment that you want to get. You want to put that kid in jail if he committed murder.
And that is what Kane intends to do. DA Michael Kane said he intends to prosecute these children because he believes these children are the gunmen. Take me inside that room when these charges are leveled. I'm assuming that because of the age, these children may or may not at this point had an attorney representing them, but their parents or a guardian is with them through the process because they're minors. How does that work?
Correct. So before any of them are questioned, before any of them are processed, fingerprinted, arrested, they got to have an adult with them, either a parent or a guardian. So that's the first step. Inside the room, obviously, you're going to say to yourself, a 3-year-old lost her life. A 7-year-old could have lost her life. So you got to recognize the seriousness of the crime here and have that be first and foremost. That's what you're thinking about in the room. The fact that they're kids makes it sad, makes it a double tragic event, but at the end of the day, you've got to prosecute them and punish them for what they did.
Is there a reaction? Is there a reaction from a parent, a guardian, or whomever the adults are with these children? Does the gravity of the situation, I think, is what I'm really asking. Does the gravity of the situation hit either these children or their parents or whomever's with them? Do they get it? Do they get the full extent of what happened?
Well, the parents do. Whether or not a 14-year-old does is dependent upon the mental mindset of the 14-year-old. Listen here, people, especially kids, are concerned about the immediate future. They're not concerned about long-term consequences. When we're kids, we think we're going to live forever. So, it's human nature to not worry about what's going to happen long-term, but they're concerned about right now. I'm going to Ferry Detention Center right now. That's the only thing on their mind. So that reality hits them when they walk through the front door of the Ferry Detention Center.
These children, these 14 and 16-year-old, are not going to be tried as adults, so to speak. You might hear that vernacular perhaps in other areas or in other cases. In this case, they're not. However, the state, because of the way the state laws are, the 16-year-old does face the same amount of sentencing or same punishment as an adult. The 14-year-old faces a little bit less. How does that process work, and what's, I guess, the thought behind, I think, what you talked before, the raise the age law?
Well, so the 16-year-old is going to fall under the raise the age law because the 16-year-old back in the day would have been tried as an adult. Right. Now the 16-year-old is what they call an adolescent offender. They're going to be in the youth part of adult court, though, okay? So, I mean, they're still in big boy court, but they're in the youth part of that court. The 14-year-old is going to be in the same part as well. But the difference between a 14 and 16-year-old is the maximum punishment, and the minimum, quite frankly.
Sure.
So the 16-year-old can still face the same punishment that an adult would, but the 14-year-old gets about half less.
It occurred to me during this press conference today that the likelihood of the first crime these teens, these children, this 14-year-old and 16-year-old did was pick up a gun and fire it. Perhaps they've been involved in other crimes as well. We asked that question. The DA's office declined to answer that because they did not want to taint the jury. We understand it. We still have to ask. However, it does remind me of the fact that these days, police are finding young children, 13, 14, 15 years old, stealing cars. That is such a popular crime that is happening now at a rampant pace. And the criminals, the people who are accused of these crimes, are getting younger and younger. I'm wondering if the state's bail reform laws have taken away consequences for children, and they are now open to commit very, very serious crimes.
No question about it. And now that I'm not the DA anymore, I can talk freely here. So I'll be more than happy to speculate, make an educated guess that this was not their first crime. Well, I mean, quite frankly, we know that because they possessed a gun illegally before they shot it. So we know they committed a crime before they shot it. The fact of the matter is, Dave, is that what bail reform has done, it has eliminated those immediate consequences, like I talked about before.
Sure.
So when you know that you're not going to jail immediately, you can't have bail put on you, you're not going to spend a night in a holding center, you're not even going to get processed or fingerprinted, you're going to get a appearance ticket half the time, that in your mind as a kid, as a child, says that, you know what, I can do whatever I want to do. And they do. And that's a part of bail reform that people don't talk about that has, in my opinion, serious consequences for public safety in our community.
We got to go, but I do have to, Mike, you and Mike Kane worked together. He was your number two for many, many, many years. I imagine these cases of children being prosecuted are difficult. Your thoughts are probably with him tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
What are your thoughts for him to have his best luck moving forward with this?
Well, listen here. I told him many times that, you know, you have to recognize the seriousness of this job. And the seriousness of this job is that you get difficult cases put in front of you. They don't get any more difficult than this right here. Because you have, like the mayor said, and like he said, children killing children. That's tough.
It is. Former Erie County District Attorney John Flynn. John, thank you again for being here. We appreciate it.